This video is heavily inspired by jschlatt's tribute to Minecraft and my inability to shut up about myself. I've been online for a while. I'm an adult and I'd like to think I'm doing very well at being one despite the fact that I'm barely getting by. But despite that, the one thing that stuck with me my entire life is the internet and all the related hobbies that surround it, like content creation and video games. So I thought I'd give my own 2 cents on the internet, my own stories related to this platform and the ones that surround it. I have very distinct memories of enjoying what was the internet when I was a child. I remember I was about 7 or 8, just sat on the stairs with my very first iPod that was a hand-me-down from my dad. I still remember the way the old icons looked and how interested I was into learning everything and how it worked and all of its secrets. I'd just sit on the stairs out of view of my parents watching creators like Stampy Longnose and Skydoes Minecraft, who were 2 very different creators indeed. I just laughed at all the jokes of golden butter and getting incredibly immersed in the storyline of Stampy and friends versus Hit the Target. If there's anyone I can really pin down as to being the reason I'm as into video games and the internet as I am, it's definitely my dad. Any indication that I wanted to learn new things or take up a new hobby, my dad would encourage it. We were never that close and we still aren't really, but any chance he had to give me a new opportunity into a new activity, he'd do it, whether it was a responsible choice or definitely not. Going into middle school, I made new friends, and one such friend was someone who I nicknamed Thea, and I continue to call her that to this day. It's been over a decade, and she's still one of the closest friends I've ever known. Me and her would spend most of our time together alongside her younger brother, and they would introduce me into the world of gaming consoles like the PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Wii. I loved going over to her house and getting to play split-screen Minecraft, or watching her 1v1 her younger brother on Overwatch. It's some of my fondest memories, and it made me want my own PlayStation so I could play Overwatch with her and her brother. And after a while of mentioning how much I loved Thea's PlayStation and getting to play all the games on it with her, my dad started to listen, and one day he came to me with an offer. One of his friends was selling his old PlayStation with all the games and 2 controllers for £400. He told me if I saved up all the pocket money for half the payment, then he would donate me the other half and we'd go get it. It took me about 3 months of saving up by doing odd jobs for my family and any money I got for Christmas, but I did do it. And when I finally told my dad that I had the money, he went out to his car in the driveway and pulled the PlayStation out of the boot of his car. He had bought it as soon as I told him I wanted to save up for it and just saved it in there until I earned my share to make sure I wouldn't miss out. When the next day rolled around, he was up and out of the house to shortly return with a small LG TV, which is now my computer monitor, and we set it up in my room. I had Black Ops 3, Assassin's Creed, some car game I just never touched, and Battlefield 1. My favourites were Black Ops and Battlefield, and I would only play the campaign mode, and I'd just repeat the same levels over and over again because I loved them so much. I'd slowly collect more games over time, but for about 3 years I'd just slowly gravitate back towards those 2 FPS games. I got really into YouTube content by the time I was 13. Will and E, Jacksepticeye, and ISCupQuake were some of my favourite content creators back in the day, and being inspired by them, like most kids my age were, I decided to become a vlogging YouTuber. I thought the other kids at my school would think I was so cool, so I bragged about my stupid vlogging channel to them all, and what I wasn't was cool, but what I was bullied. I was bullied badly, in fact. Within a couple of days, I had deleted all of the videos that I had spent hours editing on iMovie and perfecting, lost to time. But nothing could stop me, and a couple months later I came back onto the scene with a channel that I told no one about because I'm not stupid, which I'd called Rosefawn. It was a channel dedicated to Animal Jam, and I made those silly little music videos that would get copyright claimed every time, but it was my work and I was proud. I remember showing my mum one of my videos and her calling in my dad to show him how proud she was of this video, which for me it was like getting the gold medal at the Olympics. My mum was so proud of me, but that stopped shortly after. Later on in my time, around high school, my internet CV just grew. Me and Thea wrote fan fiction on the same account, and it did surprisingly pretty well. I spent more time writing lore for my own creepypasta fanfiction character as a 14-year-old than I spent doing my English homework, which I'd like to think was basically the same thing because it was still improving my literary ability either way, it's just my teachers probably didn't want me to do that. I also had an edit account for some TikTokers I really liked called the Gay Corner Lads. Again, it's just another thing I spent way too much time doing. I'd just sit in my tutor classroom before school would start just editing on my shitty little iPhone 5. But the most important part to me, in the last couple of weeks of high school, I discovered twitch.tv. So at this point, I'm a YouTuber and the editor of my own lost media videos, a fan account director, a fanfiction writer on sites like Wattpad and Quotev, and now I'm getting into streaming. I was really late to the game when I got into Twitch. At the time, Call Me Carson was on the front page of Twitch, and the meme about him crying during Minecraft Mondays was banging views. Lockdown was just about to be enforced in the UK, and I had literally nothing better to do. I didn't have a job to go to, and I didn't have any schoolwork because that part of my life had already finished. My choices to entertain myself were go for a walk, play games, or draw, which I found myself doing a lot of while watching and listening to live streams and videos from Lunch Club and the old SMP live streams. As dumb as it sounds, the jokes just made me feel so much better, and it pushed me to get back into video editing and start my venture into the world of live streaming 1 year later in 2021. I made my Twitch channel, made a TikTok page to help promote it, and through that made very close friends like Mimi, Sweet, Ash, Waymay, Anna, and just many other streamers who were just like me, and they've become some of my closest friends. I recorded every milestone, baby's first raid, baby's first donation, first sub, everything. I just loved watching it all grow. I streamed and edited clips of me and my friends just having fun on different games, and almost 4 years later, I still love this page. I log on, get to play games with my friends, edit all of the memories I've collected, and shared it with other people on the internet who are just as interested in my niche jokes. Sure, sometimes I forget that to have an audience, you actually have to post your content, but either way, I still love it. Honestly, at this point, I view my channels not just as a hobby, but as a keepsake for all of my memories with my friends over the years. I think that that's more important than being famous on this platform or any of my other ones. Sure, I'd like to be famous, that would be fun, I think, but nothing compares to the fun times I'm having now and all of the jokes and the memories I get to create with people I love. But yeah, this is a short compilation of all my memories from the internet. I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble on about the years that have passed, and hopefully I'll get to make more stuff in the years yet to come. Who knows?